storyteller Jennifer. I'm going to raise it up a little here. So, when I was 18 years old, I got involved with a man who was 37. And I just wondered, does anyone in here think this story is going to end well? But I came from a crazy family, and when I say crazy, I don't mean like the nice sort of eccentric, charming craziness like from a Wes Anderson film. My father drank, and he hit, and he groped, and he bullied. And my mother told us not to tell. So from a very young age, I learned to bear false witness. At 18 years of age, I left home to go to college, and I dreamed about meeting a man. I was really lonely, and I thought I would meet somebody, maybe a sophisticated older man who would show me the ways of the world. And so the Monday after Thanksgiving, I was in the bursar's office, and the 37-year-old approached me. He invited me back to his apartment for lunch, and I said yes. And then later that afternoon, he asked me to move in with him. And I said yes. And the sad thing about all this is that I didn't see the red flags. Do you guys see the red flags? I didn't see them. I came by it honestly, but I didn't see them. And the other really sad thing is I didn't even like this guy. When I said I wanted an older man, I meant I wanted like a 23-year-old, 25 tops. I didn't mean that I wanted a 37-year-old who was even more needy than I was. But nevertheless, I moved in with him, and then I set about trying to tell myself and everyone else that this was the man of my dreams. So we were together, and when I would have a paper due, he would lock me in a room and not let me come out until I'd finished the paper. I told my friends that he really supported my studies. He would harangue me for hours on Sunday morning to try to talk me out of going to have brunch with my friends. And then as I packed up croissants to take home to him, I told my friends how he really cared for me. He assumed I wanted to fuck every man I met, and I told my friends that he was charmingly devoted. He tried to trick me into getting pregnant, and I told my friends it was awesome how we just clicked. But then, somehow that spring, in some spasm of assertiveness, I realized that I could leave. And I decided to spend spring break with my high school friends down at Big State U. And it was very seductive. Big State U had parties and frats, and I was coming from the university whose motto is where fun goes to die. So it was pretty fun. It was pretty exciting to be at Big State U. And I realized I needed to get out. And I came home on the bus, and he met me at the bus station, and he was this old, wrinkly guy. And I remember seeing him at the top of the escalator, and I was just like, it's it, I gotta leave. And I told him I was breaking up with him. And he said, that's fine. If you leave, I'm gonna go to Nicaragua, because Nicaragua was very politically active at the time. And I thought, well, this is great. Nicaragua is so far from Chicago. He's going to go away, and I'm going to be fine. And it was getting late, so I decided to spend the night at the apartment, and I thought the next day, which was my 19th birthday, and I am not lying. It was my 19th birthday the next day. So I thought I was going to pack my things up and leave. He didn't go to Nicaragua. He beat me up. He beat me up on my 19th birthday. And he told me that I'd made him crazy, and he bit me a lot of times. And then when he was done, when he'd kind of run out of steam, he said, you look like shit. Clean yourself up. I don't want people to think we're fighting. I went back to the dorm, and I told my friends that we'd broken up. Hard stop. A week or so later, and I remember that part about the crazy family because I feel like that's the only way I can explain what happened next. I thought we could be friends, so I went back to his apartment to be friends. And about 5 minutes into hanging out with him, I got scared because he was acting crazy, surprise, surprise. And I left. I went outside, and I'd ridden my bike there, so I'm trying to get my bike unlocked, and he came running out. You can't leave, and we're wrestling. And finally, I got my bike unlocked, and I'm trying to get on it and go away, but he keeps yanking it away from me. And I don't really know how long this went on because I think time kind of compresses when you're panicked and things are going on like this. But we're wrestling, and in a way, we're wrestling for my bike, but we're also wrestling for my right to my own life. And I was determined to win, but it was ugly. And this car glided around the corner, and I looked over. And I wanted to stop for a second and tell everyone who wasn't aware of stuff in 1985 that phones were things that hung on the wall in your house. It wasn't something you carried around with you. And then the very wealthy had car phones. So this silver fox rolls down the window of his Mercedes, and he's kind of got his hand poised on the center console. And he looks out the window and he says, "Excuse me, miss, I have a car phone. Do you want me to call the police?" And suddenly I had a witness, and there was no way for me to pretend to this guy that things were any different from what they were. And furthermore, I was done. I was so ready to just go be a kid again. And so I said, yes, please call the police. Thank you.